Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we have a little bit of a special case on the last two matches, which I will talk about in the post-game. But for now, here is the match between treeflea and Sherman tanks. This match was treeflea's choice. He chose lowlands. I like this map. So one way to get on the caster's good side is choose a map that he likes. All we can see right now, since this replay was sent to me by Sherman tanks, we don't see anything that treeflea might have here in the forest. He has 5 katana samurai, a katana hero, 2 bow monks, 2 naginata samurai, and Yari Ashigaru. So a pretty interesting composition there. Over here on Sherman tanks, he has a much more eclectic setup. He's got bows, he's got katanas, he has a bunch of Yari Ashigaru in the front, some naginatas in the back, and plenty of cavalry. I think he has 4 or 5 cavalry units, all Yari cavalry. So that'll definitely be interesting to see how he manages to use that. And treeflea here seems to be going right for the sword dojo, and Sherman tanks is going right for the archery dojo. So just capturing buildings here in the beginning. He's also, Sherman tanks that is also going to be getting the workshop. So it looks like he will have an advantage here in the building upgrade. Now if we look at it, it looks like before I talk about that, we had some cavalry appear over here in the woods for treeflea. So it's hard to tell the advantages right now, not knowing treeflea's entire force. Infantry advantage, it looks fairly even. The 3 Naginata monks, of course, are scary, but I think if treeflea gets the better of the initial infantry engagement, he'll be able to just tear right through these Yari Ashigaru, and if he can keep the cavalry off him for long enough, he should be able to win out an infantry battle. So his cavalry might be a little more safe in going anti-cavalry, but unfortunately they've been spotted, so Sherman tanks is going to know about that, and let's see what he has here. 3 katana cavalry. If they get a good charge here, the Yari cavalry will beat the katana cavalry no problem. Katana cavalry knows at the last second they're moving into a cavalry engagement. Probably not the best idea, as Yari cavalry will beat katana cavalry if katanas do not get any kind of charge off. Yeah, they're already wavering here, down to 35 men. This one's a 46 and in the red, so looks like it's going to be a definite win here for Sherman tanks, and that will be very important here in the infantry battle, as he might not have the infantry advantage. Light cavalry is also going to stop this katana cavalry over here. Pretty heavy on katana cavalry. It's a pretty interesting way to go. It's actually pretty good if the enemy has a lot of infantry, because katana cavalry are really good at killing infantry in melee. So it is a pretty good build. He's going definitely just full-on anti-infantry. treeflea is with katanas, both samurai and cavalry. Manages to rout the light cavalry here, but they're going to be walking into the matchlocks and get a clear shot into this katana cavalry and start really mowing him down. treeflea's got to react, and he is, moving him into the matchlocks. The bows up front too are starting to skirmish, but what's coming out of here? Ashigaru versus monks. Monks should definitely win, but if treeflea doesn't micro well, Ashigaru could get the better of him as bow warrior monks with that lower armor. Even Ashigaru can do pretty good damage to him. I think that Sherman tanks is doing a good job here spreading his infantry line out long. He wants to also spread out treeflea, and that'll give his cavalry ample room to walk in and get big charges from the rear. He uses all of his fire attacks here on the bow warrior monks. Maybe he should save it for the infantry, as they're probably going to get tore down anyway by these Yari Ashigaru, but still, not a bad choice. Now he's shooting into the katana samurai, who are down to 106 men already from the bow Ashigaru, so if he can just hold him down on the Yaris and force him to spread out, his cavalry can come in from the rear and do a pretty good job there. Whistling arrow is going to go too. Looks like they were from treeflea, and it's going to hit his katana, one of his katanas as well, but not going to be that important. Cavalry is moving on the flanks there for Sherman tanks, way off there in the rear, just kind of waiting for the attack. He's got his Yaris up in spear wall, so just trying to take this initial attack and hold him down, hopefully spread him out and give his cavalry ample room. But treeflea is giving him a pretty wide berth here with the spears, but it gives him less options where to go with this cavalry. Naginata samurai are moving in a position. Looks like the Yaris might be going straight for the general. They are going to hit those Naginatas and get stopped. If you put your cavalry in guard mode, they won't get stopped as easier. That's a pretty important trick that I didn't pick up for a long time. It's how people can pull their cavalry away so quickly if you put them in guard mode like that. But they are going to get stuck, so treeflea's wide net of spears are going to do a good job of capturing the cavalry, but they're going to slip through, and if you can go right into the general here, that could be... In fact, that will be very dangerous. The 2 Yari cavalry, he is pulling his general away, but there's nowhere for him to run. He's going to go right into Yari Ashigaru. It's the only place he can go, and so he's just going to dismount and try and get the better of it. The war cry is active, and it's bringing the katana samurai down, and treeflea's in a pretty bad spot here. With Sherman tanks still has plenty of cavalry left. And treeflea's own cavalry is getting lost in the micro battle, and they're finally moving his cavalry. He really needs to bring those up. Naginatas are going to move up to engage too. At least be a nice wall here against the cavalry too, but it's just not going to be enough. His infantry's losing the battle, and the cavalry is now coming in for their second wave one going into the infantry on the left, the other going straight for the bows, which, not a high priority target, but at this point, Sherman tanks is in pretty good control, so not a bad choice, really. At this point, at least. Finally, the Khitan cavalry is making their way in, but it's going to be too late. The Yari cavalry notices it and goes right for him. Knows he's going to win the infantry battle, so taking out the cavalry here is the only thing that can throw the battle in treeflea's favor, so I think that was a pretty good decision there. Light cavalry moving in just for a nice charge and try and break them. They're in the red morale, so a good charge will pretty much seal the deal. One unit wavering, there it goes. Katana Samurai is down to 56 men and wavering. Katana Samurai is still holding quite well over here. The general's still alive for treefleet, manages to keep his general alive pretty well, actually. But the left flank for treefleet is starting to collapse, and all these forces here on the right for Sherman tanks will be able to move in and finish them off. Got a lot of wavering here. On both sides, actually. Some cavalry is just going to be routed. Bo's doing a good distraction here for treefleet and keeping the cavalry occupied. And there, looks like that was the concession of defeat. So treefleet is taking a loss in that game, and now I guess I should explain what makes this match a little bit special. Maybe when that loading music goes down. There we go. Okay, so in this series, that was actually the second game of the series. In the first one, Sherman tank's computer crashed, and treefleet technically won, but decided that after that second match that he probably deserved the loss, thought he was pretty rusty, and decided not to continue in the tournament, and dropped out. So I found a replacement for him. He'll be replaced by Cotter 3000. So look for him in the future battles. He'll be taking treefleet's spot in the losers bracket. Sad he has to come in with one loss already under his belt, but hey, some people like the challenge, so it'll be his to fight out of the losers bracket. And Sherman tanks is moving on. So a little bit about the battle. Actually, I thought that treefleet's position was rather weak there in the beginning, but he actually did quite well, I thought, to keep himself in the battle for that long. Unfortunately, his cavalry being lost so early really limited his options there in the late battle. If he had a big cavalry component still there at the end, managed to keep him hidden, I think he could have really turned that battle around. I thought he did actually pretty well, besides that one mistake of losing his cavalry early, and it's often the single mistakes that just lose you games. I mean, need any evidence of that, just watch game 1 of Hero versus Bell. It's a classic example of that. If you haven't seen that battle, you really should. That was one of the highlights of this tournament so far. That's Hero versus Bell, game number 1. Definitely go check that one out. One of the better series in this tournament so far, too. So, thanks for watching, everybody. See you in the next match.